Hi there! Solving inequalities today. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully your equation solving skills are up to snuff because these inequalities are treated like you would treat a normal equation with one kicker. If you ever multiply or divide by a negative, you need to flip the inequality. And what I mean by flipping the inequality is changing the direction of it. So if it was less than and you multiplied or divided, it would then be greater than. You would change direction. So yeah, let's just kind of take a look here. So I'm going to treat this like a normal equation. I will subtract 2 from both sides, giving me 3x is greater than 5. I will then come through and divide by 3. X is greater than 5/3. X is greater than 5/3, so it can't be 5/3. It can be anything larger than 5/3. There's one representation of your answer. Also, we would like to see it on a number line. So if there was 0, I could put 5/3 there. Don't really worry so much about scale. Now, one little thing about graphing these, dealing with your inequalities, if you have less than or you have greater than, you will have an open circle. If you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, your circle will be a closed circle because it means it is included and it is part of the answers. So here I will have an open circle. X is greater than that, so it will go to the positive direction, everything to infinity. We can also have interval notation here. So we can start at 5/3, another form of our answer. Parentheses would be for here, brackets would be for here included. So it is from 5/3, but not 5/3, all the way to positive infinity, and your infinity also always gets that. Parentheses. If you're not sure about the interval notation, please take a look at the domain and range videos. So there's one little example right here. We'll do quite a few of these today. How about we take a look at 4 times x minus 3 is less than or equal to 9. So first things first, we're going to come through and I'm going to distribute this 4. 4x minus 12 is less than or equal to 9. Then we will add 12. 4x is less than or equal to 21. Divide both sides by 4. X is less than or equal to 21/4. So x can be 21/4 and it will be less than 21/4. Anything less than 21/4. So there's one form of the answer. You could also put it on a number line. If that was 0, let's say, you could have 21/4 here. So it is equal to, solid dot, less than, will be coming here into that negative range. All right, there we go. It's a good representation of that. We can also use interval notation. So it will be, your answers will be from negative infinity, less than 21/4, all the way to 21/4. And 21/4 is included as part of your answer. So you have 3 representations of the same inequality. We're just going to kind of keep on going with a few of these here. So let's take a look at negative 2x. We're going to start introducing some of these negatives now. Less than or equal to 15. First we will add 7. Excuse me, that's kind of a shoddy 7. Excuse me, subtract 7 from both sides. Negative 2x is less than or equal to 8. Now I'm going to come through and I'm going to divide by a negative 2, and when I say divide by a negative, multiply by a negative, bells should be going off. That is one of those starred things right there. So this becomes x and this becomes negative 4, but what we're talking about now is we divided by a negative, so this needs to change direction. Now it will be x is greater than or equal to negative 4. So if I were to graph this, greater than negative 4 or equal to negative 4. So it will be a solid dot because negative 4 can satisfy this. X is greater than negative 4. So I will be moving in a positive direction. Well, if you want this in interval notation, moving from negative to positive, we first encounter values at -4, that is included, and you go all the way to positive infinity. How about negative x over 2 plus 2 is less than 8? So just like solving an equation, we will subtract 2 from both sides. Negative x over 2 is less than 6. Now this negative could be applied to the top, could be applied to the bottom, could be out front, doesn't really matter. So let's just say that it is up top. So I will multiply both sides by 2, giving me negative x is less than 12. Well, negative x is less than 12, so the way we're going to undo this negative would be to divide by -1. So I get x and -12. That is one of those starred components right there. We divided by a negative, so make sure we flip that inequality there. X is greater than -12. If we were to graph it greater than -12, -11, -10, all those things. So it is not included, open circle, greater than, moving in the positive direction. There you go. Interval notation, moving from left to right, we would first encounter at -12, and that is not included, and it goes all the way to positive infinity. There you go. A few more here. Hopefully you're picking this stuff up. Say we have -7 plus x divided by 3 is greater than 9. First things first, let's undo this division by 3, so I will multiply both sides by 3, leaving me with -7 plus x is greater than 27. Come through, I will add 7 to both sides. X is greater than 34. X is greater than 34. If there is 0, we could put 34 somewhere over here. Not equal to, so it is an open circle, and greater than, it's moving in the positive direction. So moving left to right, we would hit at 34 in interval notation. That is not included, and we would move to positive infinity. Negative times x plus 3 greater than or equal to 12. Okay. Well, some people choose, let me give us a little break right here so we can see our separation. Some people choose to distribute this out. By all means, you can do that. Some people also recognize that it is this, x plus 3, being multiplied by a negative. If it's being multiplied by a negative, you can come through and divide by that negative as well to undo that, and you would be left with x plus 3 and -12. I should have starred that for you because we divided by a negative. Make sure we flip that inequality there. Then you can subtract 3. X is less than or equal to -15 on a number line. 0, -15, less than or equal to -15. Less than -15, okay. That is a solid dot because it has the equal component, and less than would be moving in that direction, getting smaller. Interval notation, moving left to right, we first encounter at negative infinity, and we go all the way to -15. Negative infinity gets parentheses. -15 is included, so that gets the bracket. -2x plus 4 divided by -3 is less than 6. Okay, first things first, let's undo this division by -3 with multiplication by -3. So that cancels, leaving you with -2x plus 4. We'll star that for you because we divided by a negative, so make sure we flip that inequality. and you have negative 18. Subtract 4. Negative 2 is greater than negative 22. Excuse me, negative 2x is greater than negative 22. Divide by negative 2. Bells and whistles and all that good stuff going off in your head. Dividing by a negative. Okay, so x, flip that inequality when that occurs. X is now less than 11. Number line. 0, 11, less than 11. Okay, so there's 11, not included. Less than would be moving in the negative direction. Interval notation, left to right, we first encounter at negative infinity. That is not included, not a place, more of an idea, and it stops at 11. 11 is not included as well, and there you are. I hope that helps you. Good luck. We'll see you around.